Welcome to the 100th Monkey Radio with Tom and LFE. We are recording this on November 19th of 2015, and we tried to record this, Monday?
Monday,
yeah. Monday, and LFE came down with one of those 24-hour bugs or something, and I think he was reflecting the weather we had up here. Wow, we had a stormy week. We had torrential rains and winds up into the 50s. Yeah.
Here, 50s around here, 60s up the coast.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I had good old Lake Cappenman out in my front yard. I know whenever we get like more than like an inch of rain in 24 hours, I get this lake in the pasture across the street from me, and it comes all the way up into my driveway and then spills off into the other neighborhoods. But so I don't flood, but man.
Well, every once in a while you get a waterfront property then.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now I just need some RC boats.
that can launch planes, right?
Right. Yeah, I'll get pontoons for my planes.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that'd be fun. So we want to make sure everybody out there knows that for all the stuff going on in the world right now, there's a lot of turmoil and just some real crazy stuff happening, and I know a lot of you guys out there listening are astrology buffs, and have been keeping your eyes peeled to what's going on astrologically. I see this as kind of a reflection of the pattern. So, yeah. All you guys over there in Europe that are going through all this crap, these crazy ass people that have to, I don't know. Our hearts are with you, and we're here to help. If there's anything that we can do here at the 100th Monkey Radio, just drop us a line. We'll do anything that we can. So,
yeah.
You got anything to add to that?
Yeah. Well, I think you said it really good. Just with all the chaos that's happening now, there's a big push to divide us, on all different levels of division, and we have to stick together. We have to be as one, and it doesn't matter what country you come from or what color you are or anything. We just have to unify. We have to stay together, and we can't let the propaganda and the media drive us apart with all these wedges.
Right, yeah. And you guys remember that the bad apple proverb, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch, right? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's not necessarily true when it comes to what's going on over there right now.
Yeah. And we're humans.
We're all part of the same family here. And these guys that are taking credit for all this crap that happened over in Paris, they're ISIS, right? They're taking the lion's share of the credit of that stuff. So, and they're trying to claim themselves as being the Islamic State, right? The official Islamic State. Well, I'm sorry, guys, that's not the official Islamic State. They're the self-proclaimed official Islamic State. I know a lot of people who are Muslim, and not a lot. I know a few Muslim people, and every single one I've ever met has been absolutely golden-hearted. So, yeah. And if you ever read into any of their material, the Torah and the Quran, right? Then you're going to see just by reading that it is just as morally and ethically sound as any of the others out there. So. Anyways, you can't take it out on you can't put all of them in the same basket.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
anyways, enough said on that.
Yep.
Right. We've got an absolute treat for you guys tonight. I had an experience early on in my wake up process, and I had been going through a lot of inner turmoil, and I'd woken up one Saturday morning and I'd I'd gotten down on my knees on the side of the bed, and I was praying to God, and I was trying to figure out, I mean, what the hell am I doing? What's going on? I mean, my life had I mean, this is right after I got that proverbial 2x4, and my whole life was coming down, and it was just shattered, and I was at a complete loss. And I was prompted to get up and go outside and ride my bike. I had a mountain bike at the time. It was so bizarre. It was a tangible force that was tugging on me to go out and ride my bike. And so I threw on my sweatpants and a t-shirt, and I went out the door, and it was strange riding the bike, because it was like the bike knew where it wanted to go, and it was like I'd get to a corner and it'd be like trying to turn itself, and it was really strange. Anyways, so I got with this group of bikes. This is down in Palm Springs, California, and I got with this group about, I guess there were 4 or 5 other guys that were riding bikes, and we were going stoplight to stoplight down on Palm Canyon, and we went through 2 stoplights, and at the 3rd stoplight, we were all there at the red light, and there was this guy standing next to me, and my bike, the steering wheel kept turning towards this guy, and I kept getting prompted inside saying, talk to this guy, talk to this guy, talk to this guy. So, and I'm sitting there freaking out. Okay, this is all really bizarre stuff that's happening to me. And I mean, I'm coming out of the, Tom 3D, and so I finally get up the nerve to talk to this guy and say, excuse me, but I feel like I really need to talk to you. And he stops and he looks at me and he smiles and he says, hi, how you doing? And at this time, the light turns green and all the other guys take off. So I feel a little bit more comfortable talking to this guy. And I said, well, I don't know what to say, but where do you think the world, what direction do you think the world should be going in? And I have no idea why I asked that question, but that's what I asked. And he looked at me and he said, and he didn't even hesitate. He said, true socialism. And I just stood there and I was like, I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting an answer like that at all. And throughout the years, I've really thought about what true socialism is. Your brother's keeper, right? It's in all the religions. True socialism is the foundation of all of them. So, I was like, through the years, that has really made sense. Anyways, back to this story. He says that, and I'm like completely speechless. I have no idea what else to say or what to say. And I said, well, thank you very much. And he's like, have a nice day. And he takes off. The light's green again. So he takes off across the street. And I'm kind of stunned, and I look down at it for a moment, and when I look back up, there's still a guy going through the crosswalk. He's almost across the street, but it's somebody else. It's somebody completely different, wearing different biking. He had a bike riding outfit, the spandex shorts and the biker's jersey. Yeah. Well, when I was talking to him, he had this sunshine yellow jersey on, right? And when I looked across the street, the guy had on a peach colored jersey. It was not. That freaked me out. I was like, okay, I just met somebody from another realm. Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of a really long introduction or a primer for our show tonight, but, I think this was an angel, actually. Look, in retrospect, I'm pretty sure that was an angel encounter that I had. Angels appear in every major world religion, from Christianity, Judaism, Islam, to the Native American Thunderbirds. This book has a celebration of all the world's divine messengers, and it's a definitive resource containing all the knowledge collected about these awe-inspiring beings. Rigorously researched, Angels is packed with knowledge about these protectors and guides, including who or what angels are, their duties to the people of Earth, their appearance and their origins, prayers for invoking your guardian angel and chasing away negative emotions, the many rituals that will help you call on angels and help them to help them transform your life and guide, protect, and steer you toward love and success, and much, much more. We're talking about a book called Angels, the Definitive Guide to Angels from Around the World. And we have the author with us tonight, Marie-Ange Faugerolas. I hope I said that good.
Yes.
Welcome so much to the 100th Monkey Radio.
Hi, I'm so happy to be with you tonight, all of you.
Well, I actually sat here this evening before we got going, and I tried to connect into my angels. I've been doing that for a couple of hours now, and I get that whenever I do that, I always get that glow. I get that love glow that starts growing in me. It's like, we're here, guys. I feel that warm fuzzy,
It's true. It's real. You feel it. It exists. You feel it. That's great.
So, Marie, before we jump into the book here, and and by the way, guys, this book is almost 600 pages.
Almost.
Yeah, almost 600 pages. It's a must-have for anybody that does any work with angels. Marie, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into angels?
What you said touched me a lot. Your experience with the bicycle. It's exactly what happened to me when I was 4 years old. I was in my grandparents' house in France, and I was riding my tricycle, like hysterical, speeding up. And what happened? All of a sudden, I stopped because a force was really stopping me. Like really, I couldn't really try to pedal. It didn't happen. Nothing happened. So I had to stop. And what I saw, what I felt, is the most amazing thing that can happen to you in life. Is I felt and saw a light coming into me, inside my soul. And from there, it was huge love, immense love. And since that day, I always thought about love, believed in love, and my whole life was about love. And this was my first encounter. So what you saw, Tom, is absolutely real. The angels appear. They take human forms to appear to us because otherwise we would be really scared. And this is really the way they intervene in our world. And this is how they want to help us and tell us, tap on our shoulder and say, "Oh, we're here, guys. Trust us. We're not letting you down." So that's a great experience.
So your middle name, Ange, is that actually means angel, doesn't it?
It does. It comes from my grandmother, who loved this name, and she called me like this. It's the translation in English would be Marie-Angel, and it's just, it was meant to be. I think nothing happens for no reason, and this was a sort of seal that I had on me with my name, and everything then happened. It was like a cascade of events, of angelic encounters, of miracles in my life. I was saved several times by angels, where once my tire blew up, and I felt a tap on my shoulder saying, "Oh, slow down, slow down." And I slowed down. I was in the middle of a forest. I was freaked out, and finally my son came and picked me up, and I came out of the car. I didn't want to go out of the car by myself, and it was twilight in the forest. And when he arrived and we checked my tire, and it had completely blown up, but like really there was nothing left. And that was absolutely amazing. And my son was flabbergasted when he saw the tire. He said, "Mom, you're alive. Thank the angels. Thank God. We're still alive." That is an amazing story. And I really, really felt this tap on my shoulder. I like, oh, somebody's tapping on my shoulder. And I'm quite used to this. So obviously, and this voice saying me, "Slow down." Obviously, I slowed down, and this is what happened. So Tom, what happened to you? It's obviously an angel. And I have many stories like this. And if you want another one, which is very close to your encounter, Tom, My son was my baby, who's now 23, but at that time he was 2 years old, 2.5, and I was in a countryside in France in a house where we spent our vacation, and there was no floor, no story. There was just the ground house. So we had a living room, and there were 3 rooms at that time, and there was my son taking a nap. He was 2.5 in a cot in the one of the rooms, and the window was closed. Everything was fine. And I was having tea with my mother in the living room while he was taking his nap. And all of a sudden, I was talking to my mother, and I heard somebody walking on the gravel outside the house. And I looked at my mother and said, I'm not expecting anybody. And all of a sudden, somebody rang the bell. I opened the door, and I saw this big, tall guy, really tall, like a countryside guy with, clothes that I could see in this countryside. And he didn't say a word, and I was terrified because in his arms, he was carrying my son. And I was thinking my son was supposed to be taking a nap in the room. And I didn't understand, and he didn't say a word. And he handed me the baby, and he left, and I was speechless. I couldn't say a word. I didn't understand what was going on, why my son was not sleeping in the room, what happened. That was the most amazing story I can tell about angels. And I don't know what happened in my mind, but I was very stupid because when you're so surprised, you're very stupid. So what I did, I closed the door and I said, oh, this guy is so nice. He brought me back my son. But the thing is that I had French windows overlooking the garden. And usually you see people coming in. You see everybody out there. Yeah. And I tried to see this man leaving the house, and there was nobody.
Right.
There was nobody. And what I thought about is that my son finally, the window was not completely closed. He might have opened the window. I don't know how, because he couldn't get out of the cot. I don't know how he did that. Probably he got out of the room. But the thing is that this house was very dangerous because there was a road passing by. Then there was a pond, and then there was the railroad track far away. Like not that far, but he could have reached the railroad track. So the dangers were like horrifying, like the road first, the pond, and the railroad track. So, and this person brought me back my child.
Yeah.
And there is no rational explanation. And even my son, who was 2.5, always told me, Mom, an angel brought me back. This is really the most beautiful story I can tell about angels.
Wow. And your son saying that an angel brought me back. At that age, their veils have not been firmly put in place yet.
He said it a little bit later because he was not at that time really able to say it. But he told me, and recently he spoke about this because this is a really incredible experience. And although he's very young, he's 23, and what he does, he's a filmmaker, and what he does is about angels. Like he's very concerned about it, and he wants to spread a message about angels because once he owes his life to an angel. This is exactly what happened.
Wow.
This is absolutely amazing. Therefore, I absolutely believe that all these stories that people say, oh, it's not possible. Yes, it is. And miracles are possible. And if we believe that everything's possible, it is possible because it happens. It's real. It's true. And I really would like the audience to know that many stories, many beautiful things that happen to them. It's probably angels. And sometimes it's difficult to acknowledge when you have a rational mind. You feel, no, you always try to find a rational explanation, but it's very difficult to find rational explanations when there is none. It's very hard. And it's easier to say, oh, that was an angel. Thank God and thank the angel. It's easier.
Yeah. So, we've had your book for a couple of weeks, and, like we were saying earlier, it's a big book, and it's so full of, so much information. And I'm just wondering, where did you come across all this information at? Is this sites from different sources, or is it sites from different sources and your own intuition?
Yes, there's basically it happened because this book was in my mind, and I was thinking I need to do something about angels. And then I had, at that time, my publisher was in Canada, and he said, "It's time to write your book on angels. It's time. It's the right moment." And you know, when it's the right moment, somebody is there to tell you, do it now. And I did it. And believe me or not, I don't care because it's true. I wrote it in 4 months. That is the most amazing thing. It's true. And I have a lot of people to witness this because I was in my house in France and all my children were there. The one who was brought back by an angel was, he just passed his final exam after high school, and he was celebrating with friends. Everybody was barbecuing. It was summertime. And I started writing from early June until late September. And that was it in 4 months. And I was so connected. I could write 12 hours a day. All the rituals were channeled. I did everything so easily. Every time I needed information, I got it. Like, for instance, I needed something specific from a cathedral that's 1 hour from Paris. And the next weekend, my daughter arrived in June and said, "Oh, Mom, I have a friend to visit in Reims, and this is where this cathedral is." I said, "How come? I need a book from there." And she said, "Oh, no problem. I'll just buy it and bring it to you." And this is, everything was like that. I received tapped on my shoulders, felt like, "Oh, go and check here in your library, or go on the internet. You'll find this, that. It was so fast and easy. And plus the atmosphere, the ambience in the house was very nice. Everybody was cheerful and, boy, like I said, barbecuing. It was festive. There were a lot of young guys, young girls, all, you know, having really a really fun time. And at night, after all my hours of writing, we used to have a glass of wine, a shot or something. And at 8 o'clock, I was working, and I was not tired. Everything was fine. So that was an absolutely amazing experience. And I felt this strong connection, and how they can back us up, they can support us and guide us also, because you're human. You have to be very humble because we don't know anything, and they have a very smart way to awaken our consciousness, which is really basically, consciousness is nothing until you realize it's very powerful. But if you don't realize it, it's never going to blossom. And this is what they do. They really awaken your consciousness and tell you, you have a great potential there. You can do this. You'll make it. Go ahead. Go for it. And when you follow what I say, you gain self-confidence, and you can go further and further and further, and be very proud of yourself. Not being, I'm not talking about ego. I'm just talking about being proud of yourself is good. It's positive. It's important to have self-confidence, self-assurance, but I'm not talking about ego. I'm just talking about positive side of what some call ego.
Right. Well, absolutely, it is essential to have that level, at least some level of confidence within yourself to be able to move forward, or otherwise you're in a state of fear constantly.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, religious upbringing for you?
I was born Catholic, but I'm not religious at all. My parents tried to, like you said, it's not a religious upbringing. I was not really into it. I was just interested in it because I felt there is something there, but it was not religion in itself. It was not, practice church. I never felt comfortable there. I love churches, but I love to go and light a candle and pray, but I'm not so keen on mass, on the religious backgrounds. It's not really me. What I'm very comfortable with is spirituality in the good sense. And what you said in the beginning, I really loved what you say. It's, we are all one, and we are not divided. And what's going on now in the world, it's an attempt to divide everybody. And I can't stand this. It's terrible. I'm very ashamed of some humans on this planet who don't understand that and who tear us apart. And I think it's mandatory that all of us get very close and understand that love is the cement of life. And this is the only way to get out of this horrible situation.
Right, right. So, this is jumping ahead quite a bit here, but in light of what's going on over there in Paris right now, or all over France, I suppose, is there a specific angel that you can think of that would be the most beneficial to invoke for assisting the situation over there?
Yes, of course. The first one is obviously Michael. Michael is the one who leads the armies of angels, who is very powerful. He is a knight. He is a general of the army, very, very, very powerful, and he fights evil. And you've seen, everybody has seen iconography of Michael with stepping on the dragon or killing the dragon with a spear, with a sword. Michael is a soldier, a knight, and he wants to kill evil. It sounds a little bit violent for people who say, oh, angels are only love. Angels are also warriors. This is what they are, because they can't stand something that comes in between God and humans. They are there to protect humans. They don't want humans to suffer. So when it happens, it's not really about the angels. It's not them who didn't do their job, because I heard this many times. Oh, they don't do their job. What are they doing? Why does this happen? It's not the angels who let it happen. It's just the humans who do it, perform it, unfortunately. And it's humans. When people are very evil, it's not because there is angels not doing their job. It's because they are on the wrong side. And this is what I wanted to say now about Paris events, is that there is a second level. There is earth level of good and evil, and there is another spiritual level in the spiritual realm where sits, if I can say this, evil. There is a lot of evil, and the world is divided in two, good and evil. So is the spiritual world. And this is why angels fight demons and whatever you call this entity of pure evil. But this entity exists, and unfortunately our combat is to understand that it's a combat between humans to eradicate evil on earth and to eradicate evil on a more spiritual level. And so it's important to understand that we're not just here to do our little stuff. We are here to do great things, and we can do great things thanks to our consciousness. Through our consciousness, we are aware of many things. And the more we open up our consciousness, the more it grows, and the more we understand, and the more we open up to the spiritual realm. And the spiritual realm is absolutely beautiful on the angel side and God's side, and it's very dark on the other side. Therefore, this is why we need to do something. It's important. And thank you for asking me. Back to Michael. So I suggest that our audience could pray Michael for peace on this earth, peace in the world. And there is another angel that I really think is very present right now, is the angel Anael, A-N-A-E-L. Anael is a beautiful angel of love. They are both archangels, very close to God in celestial hierarchy. They're very powerful and beautiful archangels. So I think you light a white candle and you say a prayer with your own words. I think it's better if it comes from your heart, and you can express yourself, ask for peace in the world, and ask for unification of humans, regardless of belief, religion, races, whatever. Like everybody is a human being with a brain, with two eyes and a mouth to say prayers and beautiful things.
Yeah. So, so angels are angels actual physical beings? Or are they energetic beings? Do they have their own bodies? I mean, what is an angel?
Oh, thank you for asking me this question. They are essentially, this is what they really are. They are just energy, pure energy. And when they want to appear to us, they can take human forms. Don't ask me how. I don't know. I have no idea. This is how it happens. We can witness this. Tom can witness it, and many people can witness this. I don't know how it happens, but it does happen. But they have no consistency. They are not made of matter. They're made of energy. This is why they can swiftly go from one place to another. This is why in a split second, when you call on them, they're coming right now. Today, they are all around. I can tell you, they're all around. They're very present, and it's an energetic presence. And it's also light. They manifest through light. So you can see them through different forms. You can see lights. You can see orbs of light. You can see auras. You can see flames, like flames. You can also feel them like scent. You can smell something very pure, like a lily or rose, that all of a sudden appears when you're in a place that you're not supposed to smell this, or they appear like a feather on them that you find, a white feather, always white. They can appear in different manners, like a tap on the shoulder, there is no tap on the shoulder, but you feel it. And I don't know how it happens. It's energy influences matter somehow, but it happens, and it's absolutely amazing. Or they take human form, like the man who brought my son back, or like the man you saw on the bike, Tom, or many people witnessed that angels saved them from car accidents, or many things happen like this. But they can appear in different forms, but basically they're not human beings. They don't have any atom in their body, and it's not a body. It's a pure energy.
And now, their creation. Now, the biblical story of the creation of angels. I don't know. Well, I don't know. What's your take on the creation of the angels? How were they created, and I suppose why?
That's a very good question. They were created by God, probably the second day of creation. That's what the Bible says, but obviously we have no text to confirm. It's just, we just suppose, we can believe. There is nothing very really sure. We don't really know. However, there is one thing that is sure, is that God created them for several reasons. The first one, they are His messengers. They're bringing us news from God. And they are bringing our news to God, our prayers. They convey them to God whenever we have requests, and we think during the day. If, for instance, if our audience one day some persons are in their kitchen and always thinking about something they're cooking, and all of a sudden, I need to pray my angel. They can pray their angel anytime, in the car, in the bus, wherever you go. And this prayer, instant prayer, is conveyed by the angels to God. So first of all, they're messengers. This is the meaning of the word angel. And they have a very important mission, is to guide us, to be like somehow our parents, when we're, our consciousness is very little, it's not awakened yet. They show us what we could see if we opened our eyes and our heart. They are very close to us. They have another mission, is to protect us. If we really, really are in danger, they will be there for us. They have another important mission, is to understand us. And that's sometimes we don't really believe this, because as long as we don't see things happening all the time, we're skeptical. Humans are skeptical, but it really happens. They really, really want us to learn and to influence our minds, to open up to all the beauties of love, of understanding, of respect, all the values of the heart. that they're awakening us to.
So would you say angels are more along the lines of an archetypical type of energy, or would you say they possess a individual sentience?
I can just, it's a hypothesis. I'm not 100% sure. I would be too proud, too pretentious to say, I know exactly what it is. I don't. I just see, like you've seen an angel with a body, like a normal person. How does this happen? Honestly, I have to say, I don't know, but it does happen. I don't know. If I were God, I would tell you, yes, I do know. But this I cannot say, because there is no recipe, there is no information, there is no really explanation. So I saw one day I saw the visage, the face, the beautiful face of Archangel Raphael. I saw him. He was in a halo of beautiful light. It was very, very bright, and the face was coming closer and closer. I was, slumbering away, like, about to fall asleep, but not yet. And I just saw this face, and I will never, ever, ever forget it. It's a beauty that doesn't exist on earth. It's unbelievable. But I saw this man who brought my son back, who was a normal man. So, this is how they come to us. Like, can take different forms. How? I think it remains a mystery.
Right. Right. Well, I'm curious. I'm wondering if the image that you saw there during that experience would be the same image that I would see if I had a similar experience, or if it would appear to me in a form that I don't know, form more
suitable
for me.
Yes. I think they choose a shape, a form that talks to you. I think they do it because, I studied art, so this is why they appear to me in a very beautiful, like really surreal, like really something that's supernatural beauty. I don't know how to describe this. It's very difficult. But maybe somebody who's more into something more, liking more nature, this angel would have appeared like maybe something with flowers around, or I don't know, people who love animals are really dedicated to animals. Maybe they can appear through an animal. It's absolutely possible. Yes, of course.
So what are the, have you found any differences in angels that are, talked about in, let's say, ancient North America, as opposed to angels that were talked about in the Middle East, or angels that were talked about in Europe or in Asia?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of differences, of course, because they have different names. They have different, the Thunderbird from the Native Americans is a bird, with a huge wingspan, but still, he's a bird. There is a very, very strong connection between all these angels. It's a concept there because they represent angels in a different way. But globally, they have the same, they have wings because they're messengers. They are the voice or the hand of the Great Spirit, who can be God or different gods. And they all help humans to handle their life and cope with their everyday life. That's not always easy, and their challenges.
Yeah.
I think this is exactly what you said in the beginning of this show. It's exactly what you say. No matter what they look like, what is important is what they do. And they do help, and they do transfer information from God to us and from us to God. And this is all that matters. It's to create unity. This is why I wanted to talk about all the angels around the world, to show that what is important is not what you believe in this country. What you pray to in this country is what you believe in is going to be the bond with God. This is all that matters. And this is what is important is that all these angels create unity, want people to be together, want to create the whole and spread love. And it's all about love. And love is the most universal term. So that's why no matter the appearance, no matter the form, no matter the belief, what matters is only these messengers of love. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So have you found, the same angel, talked about, or the same angel called different names in different cultures?
Yes, absolutely. You have, for instance, Jibril, who's Gabriel in the Quran, for instance, and Gabriel is said to have transmitted the Quran to Muhammad, and during 34 years, Muhammad wrote the text that Gabriel sent him from God. So yes, they have different names, of course, and it doesn't matter because it's the same angel, because the Muslims believe in annunciation, and they absolutely believe Jesus, for them, Jesus was a prophet, but they believe that Gabriel came to see Mary and told her that she would get pregnant with Jesus. For them, she would get pregnant with the prophet instead of getting pregnant with the Son of God. This is the difference between Christians and Muslims, but still, the belief is the same. Of course, Asian religions are very different. Their gods and angels are different, but still there's always these creatures around humans, like Buddha's mother. She had her spirits. She had 4 spirits protecting her when she was about to give birth to Buddha. It's all the same. They're all the same, with different names, different stories, different legends, different lore, but still they're the same. And this is why I think it's important to feel today, especially today, with what happened not only in Paris, but also in Beirut. There was a horrible attack in Beirut, in Lebanon. So I just want to say today, it's important that the whole world feels reunited and against evil, and feel like there's love all around and angels supporting us, and they are here with us. That's for sure.
Do you think that angels have an experiential life path, sort of we start from zero and we gain experience through our lifetimes, and we open up new doors for ourselves. And as we continue to grow, especially once we put ourselves on a more spiritual path, we start discovering more and more about ourselves and about the world and about life and about the universe, and experience just amazing things for ourselves. Do you think they have a similar experiential line, or are they already, for lack of a better term, perfected beings?
I think they're both. First reason is that there is a celestial hierarchy with very high angels who are called archangels, who are close to God, like the seraphim, the cherubim, who are the thrones, the 3 orders of this celestial hierarchy that are very close to God. For instance, Michael is a seraphim. He's very close to God. These angels have a huge power, and they are lead armies of lower angels. There's also lower archangels. So let's be very specific. There are 9 orders of angels. Their first order is angels. Many angels. Millions of angels. Then you have archangels, the basic archangels. And then you have several levels, and I don't want to say all of them, but in the end, you finish with the seraphim, the highest ones. Therefore, you have principalities, virtues, but all these archangels, after the first level of angels, have a different level of knowledge, different level of awareness, and different level of communication with God. Those who are very close to God, like I said, are not as close to us as the archangels of the lower levels or the angels. But they are very worried about us. They want us to be happy and evolve. And I forgot to tell you before, among their missions, their tasks, they are supposed to let us evolve and help us evolve. This is one of the big principles. of their mission. Therefore, the lower ones are not as evolved as very high archangels. But the angels who have a lower mission, they have a lower level of awareness, but it's for a reason. It's not because God was saying, no, you're not capable of doing better than what you're doing. God would never think this way. God just thought that we, us humans, need angels that are close to us and that cannot be at the same time always with us and with God. Therefore, this is why there's a hierarchy. It's not to say, oh, I have angels who are not very competent. No, they're all competent at their level. Just it's adapted to us. This is why we have guardian angels. We have an angel of birth. Everybody on this planet has two angels. This guardian angel that differs from the angel of birth, which is according to your date of birth. You will find it, for instance, in the book, you have the dates of birth and the corresponding angel. Therefore, you have these two angels who are constantly with you. Constantly, all the time, whatever you do, they are with you. This is why you can call on them anytime. When you want to invoke an archangel, like for instance, now we're all willing to invoke Michael because of the situation. We can invoke Michael for great purposes or personal purposes, as long as it's not to ask something very basic. These high archangels who work next to God, we need to ask them for something that's important. And when we need something less important, we can ask an angel, an archangel. This is also why I have classified the angels in the book according to specificities. For instance, if you want something for your family, protect your children, there's a specific archangel or angel that you can invoke for this purpose. So therefore, it's not that God wanted them to be less aware or not them to improve. It's just because he needed them to do something for us very specific. But there's no consideration that's in a lower level. It's all for us. This is why the angels were created. It's for us humans. Therefore, this is what they do, and this is what they are for. And there is a different level of tasks that is very logical.
Hmm. Are you familiar with the Urantia book?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
There's a book called the Urantia book, and it's called it's known also by the Blue Book. It's supposedly a channeled work that uses talks about all the different angels and in different terminology, calls them thought adjusters, and I suppose it'd be just like looking at one of the other religions and there are other terminologies for the same archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, I'll leave that line of questioning alone.
So I don't know this book, I'm sorry.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. So, this is probably Hollywood pollution that I'm asking this question from here. But when somebody dies here on the planet, when they make the transition over to the other side, Hollywood, you meet St. Peter at the gate, and as you go through the gate, they hand you a set of wings.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are an angel. So I'm looking at the lowest order of angels as our guides, right? Which is awesome. That's good stuff. But do you think that as we cross over, that we become those angels, become those guides?
Oh no, no, we don't become angels. The only human beings who became angels that we know are Eli and Enoch, Eli was a prophet and Enoch was a patriarch from the Bible, and they were both elected by God to become angels. That's what the Bible says. And they didn't even die. God picked them up and took them to heaven, directly to heaven. The reality is that because angels are energy We cannot come from matter to become energy. What happens? Our body dies, and the soul, that is the part of us that is energy, goes to this realm of energy. Some call it heaven, some call it in a different way. When we cross over, we become energy, and we are in the realm with the angels, but we are not angels. We are with the angels. I think what is interesting, some people believe reincarnation exists, some don't. This is kind of touchy question, but I absolutely believe in the evolution, human evolution, and I think we need to learn a lot when we are on this planet, and I believe some people come back to learn more. Some people refuse this idea, and if it's not with reincarnation, anyway, it's going to be in this other realm where the soul goes. I absolutely know this. I have experienced afterlife. I had an afterlife experience with my father who passed away, and I have no doubt that when you cross over, you are energy and you're with the angels, with them. They are around you. They still protect you and still teach you. And it's important. And for the people who are in our audience who lost a loved one, I would say that never believe that it's forever. This loved one is there, very close to you. He is always there. He's an energy, and he's surrounded by angels, and he's learning with the angels how to help you, how to protect you, and how to be by your side. Therefore, don't think it's over. No, it's never over. When you pass on, there is still this presence of the deceased, the people who love you and that you love so much. They're still there with you. They will never, ever go away. This is very important. And I really thank you for asking these questions, because this question is really important to reassure everybody that you're not just ashes and that's it. It's not, absolutely not true. There is evidence of afterlife, and it's absolutely true that the souls go to heaven and influence us somehow. And it happens to many people with who had contacts with the loved ones who passed on. So
yeah, it's
important to know this. Very important.
Yeah, we are talking angels with Marie-Ange Faugerolas. Did I say that okay?
Yes, you're perfect. I know it's difficult.
And Marie, would you share with our listeners out there where they can get a hold of the book at?
Yes, of course. You can order it on Amazon. You can go and buy in Barnes & Noble store or online or in bookstores. You can order it almost everywhere. So at Walmart as well. Walmart has it.
Okay, all right. And we have a link to her website on the show page here, guys, or wherever you're listening to this at, in the info tab there. There will be a link. So, wow, good stuff. This is actually quite interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting. I'm having an absolute great time talking to you, Marie, and we are going to be taking a short break. And if you're out there listening in one of those other media formats, the iTunes, the YouTubes, or Vimos, or wherever this lands, and want to hear the second hour, go on over to www.the100thmonkeyradio.com, where you'll find this show and 6 years of archives packed in there. So, all right, we'll see you guys in hour 2. Condemnation without investigation is the height of ignorance.
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
Namaste, my friend.